Hi, I'm Amanda O'Shaughnessy of the Studio Art Club, and today in this video I would like to share with you my favorite way to make a circular 8-segmented snowflake. First, you're going to need to gather a couple of simple supplies, including some sharp scissors, a pencil, some copy paper, and find some round lids. I have some Tupperware lids and some circle lids that I found in my recycling. When I am teaching this to my students in my classroom, I like to talk about tracing our circles towards the edge of the paper. It's kind of like when you start writing on notebook paper, you start in the top left. You don't just start in the middle. So move the tracer, whether it's a lid or something else, a plate, a bowl would work too, as far up and close to the edge as possible without going over the edge. And start with your biggest one first. Use one hand to hold it down firmly, and when you reach the arm, go up and under the bridge. It's all right if it's a little bit off, and since there is more space on this paper, I'm going to try to do a second snowflake on the same paper. It's too small for this lid, so I'm going to move on to my medium lid. And again, I want to trace the object as close to the edge as possible, and looks like I've got it. Once I reach the arm, lift it up, go under the bridge, and you're done. So now I've got 2 circles on this piece of paper, and I'm going to cut them out. I like to tell my students to have their scissors facing forwards and use their other hand as their turning paper hand. Kind of like this is the gas pedal on a car and this is the steering wheel. And I also find it hard to cut out circular objects from a big piece of paper, so I recommend segmenting them into 2 so you don't have as much to work with at one time. And just cut those out as carefully as you can, trying to keep those scissors facing forwards. And your scissor, not your scissor hand, but your paper hand is doing a lot of the work here. All right, let's get those scraps off to the side. And there we have it, 2 circles to start with. All right, so when I'm folding snowflakes like this, I like to fold in half and half and half again and relate it to food. So we'll start with a circle and go to a semicircle. I talk about a semicircle being a lot like what looks like a taco. From the taco, we fold it in half again into a tortilla chip. At this point, we have folded our paper into quarters or fourths, and we have a V. You can go ahead and then fold it once over into a pizza or slice of pie shape, or you could kind of do the paper airplane route where you fold one side going this way and the other side going the other direction. So I'm going to fold it starting with the V, this corner to that corner, and this corner to that corner. And you still have a slice of pizza. It's optional to do it that way. And you could stop here because this is quite a lot of paper to cut through, or you could fold it once more into what I like to call the bugle. So folding it into the bugle. You could also do the paper airplane way, which would be going from pizza, taking those 2 flaps, whoops, this side, 2 flaps, and folding it. Sorry, it's easier to do on the table. Folding it one way and then folding it the other. See, it looks like a paper airplane. All right. Ooh, don't throw it. Okay, so now that we have our bugle, I like to talk about where we can cut on the piece of paper that we have just folded. So we've got the top, which is slightly curved because that's where the circle was. We also have the tip, and those 2 places we can cut off completely. So you can cut completely the top and the tip. Maybe you want to do any type of a line. Maybe you want to do a straight slit, a straight cut. It's kind of up to you. We have to have some points of contact on either side. So the fold you have to keep intact and at least a couple anchor points there. So I'm going to start with cutting off the top. I like to use the strong part of my scissors. Strong part of my scissors is over by the hinge. If you're using the tip, you might struggle a little bit. So I like to remind everybody to use the strong part. And I think I want to have a curved line going down like this. This is a slit, a single cut. Single cuts are fine for certain applications. I really like for my snowflakes to have a lot of positive and negative areas. So I'm going to make another cut to meet the one I just did, and the scraps then fall to the table like snow. So I've cut the top off completely, and now I'm going to cut the tip, and I think I'm going to mimic this line. So that repetition of form, and curves are a little hard. If you're just starting out, I would recommend that you stick to straight lines. And now I'm going to work on the side. So I can cut slits, which are fine if that's what you're wanting. But if you want that positive and negative space for something like printmaking or gluing it to contrasting paper, you're probably going to want to make those slits into some sort of shape that you cut out and have fall to the table like snow. Ooh, there it goes. And you want to keep some of the fold intact, so I'm not going to cut it all the way off. I can cut a large shape out of it using the strong part of my scissors, but I do need to make sure that I'm being careful not to cut it all the way through. Okay, so I have cut on this side, leaving parts of it intact, and now I'm going to move on to the other side, making sure to leave some of the fold intact. We want those anchor points. I think I'm going to do a deep triangle here. All right, so I've cut quite a bit out of this one, and now is the time for the big reveal. This is one of the fun parts of this. I've got all of my snow on the table, and I'm about to have a big snowflake. And there it is, a roundish 8-segmented snowflake, one of my favorite techniques for cutting snowflakes. I hope you'll give it a try, and thank you for watching.